Welcome to Nikolay's genetics lessons, and today we are going to talk about hybrid vigor in humans. Does it exist or not? And in just a few minutes you will have an answer. So take a look at this human karyotype. Here shown 23 pairs of chromosomes. There are about 23,000 genes that we can find on those chromosomes. To make my explanation simple, I'm just going to take one pair of chromosomes. Now imagine that these two chromosomes, let's say chromosome number 1, came from the mother side, so this is her genotype, and these two genotype of the father. It is clear they came from the different ethnic background, and it's also understandable that different diseases in this population where this woman came from and where this man came from would have different frequencies. We will have all the diseases which are possible, but in different groups of people, in different societies, we will have those diseases, genetic disorders in different frequencies. Now imagine that this woman has here a gene A and gene B, and sometimes these genes can mutate. And let's say that gene A has mutation which is deleterious for the health in this population with a frequency of 0.5. These numbers, of course, over-exaggerated, but just for purpose of demonstrating how calculations works, it's good. So, and also here is gene B, and frequency of the deleterious genetic disorder is 0.1. And here is the two chromosomes number 1, which came from male side, and of course male has the same genes, but frequency of the genetic disorder in his population would be different. 0.1 for the gene A and 0.5 for the gene B. Most of the genetic disorders are homozygous recessive. That means that you have to get two broken copies of the gene in order to manifest genetic disorder. So calculations are going to be as follows. In order for this female to get genetic disorder for the gene A, which is specified by gene A, it's going to be 0.5 probability that on one chromosome she's going to have it, times 0.5 that on the other chromosome she's going to have it. And for the gene B, 0.1 probability for one chromosome times 0.1 for the other chromosome. So we are talking here not about single person, a single individual, but we are talking here about population. The same is true for the population where this male came from. So probability to have recessive genetic disorder for the gene A is going to be 0.1 times 0.1. And for the gene B, 0.5 times 0.5. But you also have to understand that we are not talking here about these two particular individuals, but about populations where they came from. So we have to multiply all our numbers by 1000. Here 1000 represent 1000 people, and this is how we are going to find how many people are going to be affected. So for example, in this population where this woman came from, for the gene A, out of 1000 people, 250 is going to manifest this genetic disorder, and 10 people for the gene B. 10 people here for this male, for his population it's true, and for the gene B, this is going to be 250 people affected out of 1000 people. This is going to give us following numbers. 260 people is going to be affected in this population, and 260 people is going to be affected in this population. Now take a look what's going to happen if we'll take one person from this population, another from this population. Again, we are not talking about just two people. We are talking about large numbers. So 1,000 people from this population, 1,000 people from this population. On the overall, they would have these frequencies of these genetic disorders. From this population, this frequency, and from this population, this frequency. Again, we have to multiply these numbers, and we are going to get following numbers. So we multiplied 0.5 by 0.1, and we are going to get 0.05. And 0.1 we multiply by 0.5 here, and again we are going to get 0.05. And again, because we are talking here about populations, we have to multiply by 1,000. And here is going to be our new numbers. If we will take, for example, 1,000 people from this population, regardless of the sex, 1,000 people from this population, regardless of the sex, and if they mate and would have 1,000 children, on the overall, we expect that 50 of them is going to have this genetic disorder and 50 is going to have this genetic disorder. So as you see, on the overall, about 100 people out of 1,000 is going to have this genetic disorder, and compare with these numbers. So as you see, that population of the hybrids are going to be much more healthier than population of their parents. This is what we call hybrid vigor. These children are going to be healthier on the overall than their parents. On the overall, they are going to be a little bit taller and would have more symmetrical features. Health and symmetrical features of the face we perceive as beauty. And this is something people know for a long time, that usually children in mixed race marriages are beautiful. So this is just common knowledge, folk knowledge, and here is genetic explanation how it works. And this is all for today. See you in the next video. Goodbye.